What's up guys, my name's Liam, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Waizowl Cloud XS. Since the first OGM Cloud came out, I've been really looking forward to getting this mouse as I really enjoyed the shape of the original. Just felt like it's a little bit too large for me. So how has my experience been with this mouse so far? How does it stack up against the competition? And in this video, hopefully I'll be able to help you decide whether or not this could possibly be the perfect gaming mouse for you. So let's check it out. And before we get started today, I did want to let you know that this was sent out to me. However, everything you're going to be hearing in this video is going to be my own words and my own opinions. Included inside the box, it does come with some documentation. These rubberized grips with this really cool design on it, and these do feel rubberized and pretty grippy. A USB-C to USB Type-A cable. It also did come with 3 sets of skates. It does come with the full-size skates, the corner skates, and then dot skates. Here is a look of the 8K wireless receiver that is also included inside the box. It does have a rubberized back, USB-C connectivity over here on the rear, and this is actually a transparent top shell. So once you do have this on, I'll show you a really quick shot of how you can see the light through it. All right, so here we have a look at the mouse itself, and we will start out over here on the bottom. Really cool cutout design that they have down here. You do have to press this button down here in the bottom middle and hold it for a few seconds to turn it on. And you also have to do the same thing once you turn it off. Here's what the skate design looks like. Has been working out pretty well, and these skates actually do come included with this mouse. They have felt really good, and they've been tracking really smooth on control mouse pads. When it comes to the feeling of this in the hands, first off, this does come with a really good coating. The coating has felt very grippy for me, and I have been really enjoying it. Next up, when it comes to the shell integrity of this mouse, this transparent plastic or whatever that they're using just seems to be a little bit more flexible. The reason I'm bringing this up to you is even though this does feel pretty solid in the hands, I haven't had like real major issues as far as like the flex goes. I haven't noticed any like major separation from the shell and the base of this mouse. The one thing that holds true about my copy of this unit is this mouse has been incredibly creaky. As I'm using it in game, I typically grip from the front. And I guess you can notice it a little bit, but let me just go ahead and I'll just pull the mic up here really quick and just kind of squeeze all around this mouse to give you kind of a general idea on the experience. So as you can clearly hear there, my experience with this has been a pretty creaky experience. But again, with that being said, not that I'm trying to downplay it or anything like that. The entire time that I have been using this in game, it does still feel pretty solid. Like if I were to squeeze really hard up here, like I don't notice like any real major flex or anything like that. Even squeezing here in the middle, even though I do get a little bit of that creaking noise, it's not like giving me a whole lot of flex to where I can actually actuate these side buttons or anything like that. So again, just more of an audible type of a thing, but something obviously I very clearly wanted to make sure to bring up to you guys. But coming over here on mouse number 1 and number 2, this is using the Raisha opticals in here, and kind of in the community, the Raishas aren't really liked that much. The implementation on these, and again, kind of that clear plastic comes through on the clicks 1 and 2, where you get just, I feel like just a little bit more play and movement on these switches, but really not that bad. Once you do click on it, has a pretty decent post travel. You don't get any additional types of play left or right or any type of teetering or anything like that. And the implementation on this honestly does feel pretty solid. It even still can be pretty lightweight back here on the clicks. I do personally kind of wish that they would have either stuck with the Huano Blue Shield Pink Dots personally, or gone with the Omron opticals. But aside from that, you get just that kind of typical style of Raisha click feeling as you are using this. The scroll wheel has a pretty decent sense of tensioning there. You do feel the steps there a little bit lighter weight. And then the center scroll wheel click, I don't feel like it's too stiff, a little bit on the firmer end, but you can still pretty easily click and spam it if you needed to do so. As for the side buttons on this, they do feel pretty good. You get a little bit of playback here from the rear, but you can still click from back there pretty easily. Even here in the center, a little bit of pre once you do click it, a little bit of post, not a whole lot of movement left or right. So like I said, everything about the build on this, it feels pretty decent for the most part, minus the minor creaking. So let's go ahead and we will drop a click quality sound check. As for the weight and balance, everything on my copy has been feeling pretty solid, and dropping this on my scale with the larger skate design, looks like we got it coming in at approximately 46.9 grams. You can access settings for this mouse through their web-based driver. Up here on this main page, it just displays how you have the mouse currently configured. Then next up over here, you do have your button functions where you can reassign the buttons for the mouse. This DPI option simply allows you to change the DPI, polling rate tab. Then you also have a macro definition tab. Finally, over here on this settings tab, allows you to do things like turn on or off motion sync, and this also allows you to adjust the click to bounce setting down as low as 0 milliseconds. And when it comes to the performance of the Cloud XS, everything has been feeling great as with their current previous mice. All right, so when it comes to the shape of the Cloud XS, honestly, there's not really a whole lot of other things out there that I find this to be comparable to, where it does kind of have a bit of a unique shape in its own. I would say just in general, the shape of this mouse, the size of it, I do really like it. The only thing that I kind of wish that was differently is I do feel like this is just a really flat profile of a mouse. So we'll just kind of jump into it here. I'll compare it to the original Cloud to show you how much of a difference this is in size. It's actually quite a bit smaller feeling. So here's what the scale of them looks like over here on the top. Taking a look down here at the bottom, you can see some pretty major differences, especially looking at this rear hump profile with how much wider the original is. And then here's a shot of them next to each other from the sides. All right, and then lastly, we will throw it up to probably its closest competitor, the Noah. And just kind of looking at these from the top, you can kind of see here, the Noah is just a little bit of a larger version of this mouse is over here. Looking at the curve profile on the bottom, not that far apart, whereas the Noah just feels a little bit more wide. Even looking at the curve profile from the top mid down to the sides on these, not really that much further apart, but I do feel like just all around, the Noah is just a little bit bigger. Alright guys, so that about wraps things up on the Cloud XS. And honestly, I've been really enjoying using this mouse in game. I don't have any real major complaints about it. It has been gaming pretty well. There's obviously a few things about it that I would like to see changed. One is, I don't know that it would necessarily happen, but for my preference with this shape, again, everything about the size and width of this, I do like it. I just kind of wish it was a little taller. The profile on this just felt like it was a little bit too flat for me. And then you have the other things like the Racious switches. Not everybody's a fan of those switches, so it'd be kind of cool to see if they did come out with other offerings in the future. Perhaps maybe if they can bring in the FE switch or whatever that's called, or the Almiron opticals, I think that'd be a really great addition for this mouse. And then very clearly, just the last thing is just all the creaking that's going on here. Again, even though this mouse doesn't feel like super squishy or like it's bending or anything as I'm squeezing it really hard, that audible creaking there can be definitely an annoyance for people out there. So something to keep in mind. And again, I'm not sure if that is just with this type of a shell, with this transparent shell, but But aside from those three things, the coating on this has felt good. I do like the skate design, the skates that do come included, and like I said, it has been playing for me good in game with really solid performance. So if you guys have any additional questions or feel like I left anything out, please let me know down in the comments below. If you've enjoyed watching this video and are interested in seeing more videos like this in the future, please drop this video a like and subscribe to my channel. And thank you guys so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.